Every predator has the same problem. Once prey sees you, the hunt is over. Most hunters solve that problem with speed. But these animals found something better. They made themselves almost impossible to notice. The ocean doesn't belong only to the fastest predators. Sometimes the deadliest hunter is the one you never knew was there. One hides inside another animal. One hides behind other fish. One attacks with a mouth that shoots forward.
One waits beneath the sand. And one hits so fast it briefly changes the water itself.
5 predators, 5 completely different ambush strategies, one simple lesson. The perfect hunter doesn't always chase. Sometimes it simply waits. Let's begin with a fish that turned another animal into its home. Finding shelter can be just as difficult as finding food, especially on an open coral reef. Every crack in the rocks already has an owner. Every cave is occupied. Every hiding place is constantly being searched by hungry predators. For a small fish, finding a safe place to survive can become a full-time job. Most species solve this problem by hiding among corals. Others bury themselves beneath the sand. But one remarkable
It moved inside another living creature. The camera glides slowly across a tropical reef. Bright coral colonies cover the seafloor.
Orange anthias flutter above branching corals. Butterfly fish weave through sea fans. Cleaner wrasse dart between reef fish. Everything feels alive. Everything feels busy. Then, the camera settles on something far less exciting. A sea cucumber. Soft, brown. It crawls quietly across the sand, vacuuming tiny particles from the seabed. Nothing about it seems unusual.
Before disappearing again. Wait, did that sea cucumber just swallow a fish? The camera moves closer.
Slowly, a long, eel-like fish emerges backwards from the sea cucumber's rear opening. Its body is slender and smooth. Large dark eyes constantly scan the surroundings. Its translucent fins ripple almost invisibly as it hovers just outside its strange home.
Barely thicker than a finger, its elongated body is perfectly shaped to slide through narrow openings. Within seconds, it disappears back inside. This is the pearlfish, one of the strangest tenants in the entire ocean. For years, scientists struggled to understand this bizarre relationship. Why would a perfectly healthy fish choose to spend its days inside another living animal? The answer is surprisingly simple: safety. During daylight, the coral reef is filled with danger. Groupers patrol the reef. Moray eels investigate every crevice. Barracudas cruise above the corals, but almost none of them would ever think to search inside a sea cucumber. For the pearlfish, it's the perfect hiding place. As the sun slowly sets, everything changes. The reef grows darker. Schools of daytime Moorish crabs begin wandering across the sand. Small worms rise from their burrows. The pearlfish finally leaves its shelter. Now, it becomes a hunter. It glides silently over the reef, feeding on tiny crustaceans, worms, and other small invertebrates that emerge. Every movement is cautious, every strike precise. Before sunrise, it returns home. Then, even that disappears. Some species of pearlfish are harmless tenants, sharing their unusual shelter without causing serious damage. Others take a darker path. Living as parasites, they feed on the internal organs of their host. Sometimes, the safest home comes at someone else's expense. Nature rarely deals in simple friendships. How evolution could possibly invent something so bizarre? Most animals build stronger armor, or sharper teeth. It never needed to become invisible, because nobody was looking inside. The camera slowly pulls away, as though nothing happened. No sign remains that another predator is hidden inside. But the next hunter takes camouflage one extraordinary step further. It doesn't hide inside another animal. It hides behind them. Next, meet the predator that turns other fish into a living disguise. In the ocean, camouflage usually means becoming invisible. Some animals change color themselves beneath the sand. But one predator discovered something even more clever. Instead of hiding itself, it hides behind someone else. Towering coral bommies rise from the seabed. Purple sea fans sway gently in the current. Golden anthias shimmer like sparks above branching corals. Parrotfish scrape algae from the reef with loud crunching bites. Goatfish sift through the sand with their sensitive barbels. A green sea turtle glides effortlessly over the reef. Everything appears calm. Everything feels safe. Then, even that disappears. Some species of pearlfish are harmless tenants, sharing their unusual shelter without causing serious damage. At first, it's almost impossible to notice. Only after several seconds does the outline become clear. A second fish is there, hidden in plain sight. Slowly, the camera circles around. The mystery is revealed. Its body is astonishingly long and impossibly slender, resembling a floating trumpet more than a fish. Its skin shimmers with rich golden yellow, olive green, and bronze patterns that blend perfectly into the reef. But the most extraordinary feature is its head. A long tubular snout extends forward like a narrow drinking straw, ending in a tiny circular mouth. This is the trumpetfish, one of the smartest ambush predators on coral reefs. Unlike barracudas, it isn't built for explosive speed. Unlike groupers, it doesn't rely on brute strength. Instead, it solves the hunting problem before the chase even begins. Small reef fish spend their entire lives watching for predators. The instant they recognize the outline of danger, they flee. Those aren't threats, they're simply part of the reef. The trumpetfish understands this perfectly. The camera tracks alongside a large goatfish searching through the sand. The trumpetfish glides only centimeters away, perfectly aligned with its body. Every turn it copies, every pause it mirrors.
To tiny blue chromis damselfish hovering above the coral, only the harmless yellowfin goatfish is visible. The predator
This strategy works behind many different animals. Goatfish, large surgeonfish, groupers, even graceful sea turtles can become moving camouflage. Each one provides the same advantage. They distract attention, while the real hunter moves ever closer. It's one of evolution's most elegant examples of deception. The trumpetfish glides only centimeters away, perfectly aligned with its body. Every turn it copies, every pause it mirrors. Hidden behind a large parrotfish, the trumpetfish slowly tilts its body. Its long snout points directly toward the school.
Then, its mouth suddenly expands like a vacuum tube. Water rushes inward with explosive force. One tiny fish disappears instantly.
There is no violent chase, no dramatic struggle, only a single, perfectly timed strike. Its tubular mouth creates an incredibly powerful vacuum, pulling prey into its jaws before it has time to react. Which is exactly why its stolen camouflage is so effective. It doesn't need to outrun its prey, it simply begins the attack from almost touching distance. Watching the trumpetfish hunt, it's easy to forget that deception can be just as powerful as speed. The reef is filled with fish swimming in every direction. As the trumpetfish slips silently behind another passing parrotfish, its outline melts into the reef once again. Within seconds, it is gone. But if hiding behind another animal is clever, the next hunter doesn't even wait for its body to arrive. Its mouth gets there first. Every predator faces the same limitation. Your body can only move so fast. Even the quickest hunters need time to close the distance.
And sometimes, that tiny delay is all prey needed to escape. For millions of years, evolution kept improving.
But one reef fish ignored all of that. Instead of making its body faster, it made its mouth faster. The carrots, massive table corals stretch toward the sunlight. Soft corals sway like underwater trees. Sea fans ripple gently in the Slingjaw Wrasse dart between visiting reef fish. Tiny shrimps dance among coral polyps. The reef is bursting with movement. Somewhere inside that chaos, a hunter waits. At first glance, it looks surprisingly ordinary. Turquoise, golden yellow, and hints of orange that shimmer as it turns beneath the sunlight. Delicate scales reflect flashes of blue across its sides. Its large eyes constantly scan the reef. Its fins move with effortless precision. Nothing about it suggests one of the strangest weapons in the ocean, until you look at its mouth. This is the Slingjaw Wrasse. Its jaws don't simply open, they launch. Unlike almost every other fish, its entire jaw mechanism is mounted on an extraordinary system of elastic ligaments and highly specialized bones. The hogfish wrasse slowly patrols the reef, never rushing, never wasting energy. Everything appears peaceful. The wrasse keeps swimming, patiently, silently. Then, it sees an opportunity. The wrasse barely moves. Its body remains almost perfectly still. Then, everything happens in an instant. Its jaws not the length of its head, but nearly half the length of its entire body. The mouth shoots outward like a spring-loaded arm. Water rushes inward. The prey disappears. And before your eyes can fully process what happened, the jaws have already snapped back into place. The entire attack lasts only milliseconds. The camera replays the strike in ultra-slow motion. Frame by frame, the impossible becomes visible. The skull hardly moves. The body barely accelerates. Instead,
the jaws extend farther than almost any other fish on Earth. Then, everything recoils back into its original position as though nothing had happened.
without slow motion, you would never even know how the prey vanished. Why evolve such an extraordinary weapon? Because coral reefs are crowded. But one reef fish ignored all of that. Instead of making its body faster, it made its mouth faster. The Slingjaw Wrasse solves this problem by removing those final centimeters altogether. Its prey doesn't have time to react. It doesn't even realize the predator has attacked. The body never needed to get closer. The mouth did all the work. Around the hunter, life continues uninterrupted. A pair of Ocellaris clownfish disappears into the tentacles of their bubble-tip sea anemone. Pacific cleaner shrimp wave their brilliant whiters. Schools of fusiliers flash overhead like silver ribbons. The reef feels impossibly busy, yet somewhere with Chinese. No wasted energy, no reckless pursuit, just flawless timing. Watch the Slingjaw Wrasse. Evolution didn't create a stronger bite or a faster swimmer. It simply moved the weapon closer to the prey. The camera slowly leaves the colorful reef behind. The bright corals disappear. The sand becomes smoother. A few gobies hover just above the seabed. Tiny cardinal fish drift lazily through the water. Which is exactly how the next predator wants it. Next, we'll meet the hunter. Not every predator patrols the reef. Not every predator searches for prey. Some don't move at all. The camera slowly glides across a wide, sandy seabed bordering a coral reef. Golden ripples cover the ocean floor. Juvenile rainbow wrasses weave between scattered coral rubble. Cardinal fish drift lazily in the gentle current. A brittle star slowly crawls across the sediment. Everything feels peaceful. Nothing seems dangerous. Still, nothing. Until one tiny detail breaks the illusion. A few shimmering antennae, barely visible, postaments. Hidden beneath nearly a meter of sediment, an enormous predator waits. Its body is long, muscular, and heavily. Only the first few centimeters remain exposed. Its iridescent skin flashes metallic shades of bronze, emerald, and deep violet whenever sunlight catches it. 5 long sensory antennae constantly wave through the current, detecting even the slightest movement. Then, the jaws become visible.